Welcome to a Hockey Eulogy, a series where I dig up a dead league or team in hockey and take a look at their history. Today we look at the North American League. The league was formed in 1995, played 2 games, and then folded. There were rumors the league was entirely fake, a scam, or a ploy for another hockey league. I hope by the end of this video I've answered the question of what was the league. The league was created by Garrett Cross. Cross had already been on the business side of professional hockey for a long time. He had his hands in various West Coast hockey ventures. One of these leagues was the Pacific Southwest Hockey League. The Pacific Southwest Hockey League, or PSHL, was a semi-professional hockey league consisting of many teams in California, along with a couple in Alaska and Nevada. Cross owned the Las Vegas Aces, Los Angeles Bandits, and was the co-founder of the Bakersfield Condors. After 1994, many involved in the PSHL entered the West Coast Hockey League, a minor league on pace with the then East Coast Hockey League. Now, none of Cross's teams were entered into the league. Instead, he created the North American League under the company of Ice Age Entertainment. The league had 5 teams: the Eugene Snowcats, Las Vegas Ice Dice, Los Angeles Bandits, Mexico City Toros, and Vancouver Venom. This gave the league teams in Canada, the United States, and Mexico. Now, this already sounds like it will create a huge travel problem and a huge travel cost, not something small minor leagues really want to take on. But potential travel problems were not even the biggest problems for the league apparently. All 5 teams in the leagues had announced rosters, but it appeared in the end most of the players were listed on 2 rosters, with the Eugene Snowcats and Mexico City Toros being the lone complete squads. Though these had to be taken with a grain of salt as rosters vary by source. Most of the players had no prior professional experience or had not played pro or junior hockey since the 80s. A lot of players appear to be coming from roller hockey or other semi-professional or senior amateur leagues, which Cross had connections to. The most notable players were legendary NHL tough guy, the missing link, Link Gatz, who had 326 penalty minutes in just 48 games during the 1991-92 season with the San Jose Sharks, and Slovakian tough guy, Igor Macheski, who sits 8th all-time in Tidsport Liga penalty minutes. The league played their 2 games in Oregon as the Snowcats took on the Mexico City Toros. The Snowcats won both games 9-6, the first one, and 8-4 the second. The games were high scoring and filled with fights, typical of low-tier minor league hockey at the time. There were a series of games planned in Mexico City, but they were canceled due to custom problems, according to HockeyDB. So the league was not really fake. They played games, and it is documented that 2 games took place by the Oregon Daily Emerald. The league was described as publicly traded, which led to the rumors of an investor scam, but an investor scam would likely not have put on any games at all or recruited rosters for 5 teams, though a few of the teams remained sketchy and odd to say. I also failed to dig up any financial records for any of the teams, league, or the company of Ice Age Entertainment. The league was most likely not an investor scam, so that leaves a possible WCHL ploy. It does seem possible that maybe the other teams in the league were really fake, with the Eugene Snowcats being the club that Cross wanted into the WCHL. They would play a couple games against the Mexico City Toros to hopefully gain easier access into the West Coast Hockey League with potentially lower franchise fees or a combination of benefits. The Eugene Snowcats had a nice rink. There were 3 logos given for the team, while other teams had no logos or only one. They had official programs and other things were made out, along with already establishing some media coverage. Their roster seemed to be filled with the most active minor league players as well. To me, it seems if the WCHL ploy was the plan, it was the idea that Eugene would be the team that would make it to the West Coast Hockey League. But there is no way to prove that theory. So that is where the story ends, right? No. There are more than 2 games apparently. Flash forward to this decade as the Las Vegas Golden Knights are awarded an NHL franchise and are making a surprising run to the Cup. As Vegas is making hockey history, former league owner Garrett Cross writes a blog post talking about his involvement in Las Vegas hockey. He talks about his involvement in the PSHL, roller hockey, various tournaments, and our league, the North American League. On the NLA, he wrote, "The league played 4 games, first 2 games in Eugene to a sold-out crowd. Then the final 2 games in Mexico City where we sold out the arena. The problem was that after the game, the cartel, escorted by the federal police, came in and took 100% or gate proceeds, enough said, and it was quickly decided to recall all players out of Mexico, and soon we folded the league. The NLA was no scam, it was just a bit too early and there was a shortage of ice rinks that could fit the crowds we were attracting. We tried, we failed, we learned. It was an interesting venture. I was young and hockey was booming, and we gave it a good try. As far as I know, I'm the only person to actually host a professional hockey game in Mexico. This is hockey history. All these wild events, the PSHL and the short-lived NLA, filling small arenas proved the demand for minor league hockey in the West, and now most of these cities host ECHL or AHL teams, and now Vegas is going for the Stanley Cup. So, 2 more games were played in Mexico City, and all 4 games were sellouts apparently, but also the cartel came in, escorted by federal police, and took all the money made at the 2 games in Mexico. I just need to know more. I can't have the story end there. Luckily, that blog post pointed me to the Twitter account of Garrett Cross. I reached out to him and he responded. In our small chat about the league, he revealed a few important things. First, Vancouver, LA, and Vegas were scheduled for games in the following weeks, but the season was folded after the cartel incident in Mexico. The second and biggest is the fact that the league was formed after Cross had a falling out with the founders of the WCHL. So there's our answer to what this league was. It was a last-minute fix after a falling out between owners of various West Coast hockey teams. Cross reminisced on the league, saying we were young Canadian hockey guys with a bit of money. It was fun. We now have closure for one of the shortest-lived professional hockey leagues of all time. Thank you for your time.